have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see.
It looks something like this.
Hey, what's up guys? Justin here, and I want to welcome you to this workshop called Leveling Up Your Confidence. So, without further ado, I just want to let you know this will take usually about 20-ish minutes. And if you don't have 20 minutes to invest in this right now, I'll be honest with you, I want to do my best to help you, but I need you to play full bore here. So that means really doing the exercises and taking this seriously, spending the 20 minutes to go through the entire process. If you don't have the 20 minutes to do this, I'll be honest, there's no string of words that I'm going to put together that's going to magically change your life. I need you to play full bore here. And if you do that, what we're going to do is we're going to move the needle on whatever your sticking point is right now, whatever it is that you're having a little bit of trickiness within when it comes to self-esteem and confidence. So, let's dive in. What we're going to be doing is first examining a couple different questions, and they're very simple questions, and I want you to write them down and really answer them fully. And you're going to answer them on your laptop right now, just in your notes, or you can go and actually get a piece of paper and a pen and actually take some time to do this and write them out. I'm going to give you time in the video too, so you don't have to pause it or anything like that. Just go ahead and do these questions fully. If you want to pause, go ahead and pause, but you get my point. Let's dive in. So if you're serious about leveling up your confidence in life, we got to start with what that looks like for you. See, everyone's at different levels. And when it comes to confidence, that is usually going to look a lot different for a lot of different people. But the raw reality is that a win in one area with confidence is a win in all areas. See, as you start to win in one area quite a bit, it'll start to leak out into all the other areas of life. So you might start with just your relationships or your careers, or let's even say like sharing your creative passions with the world. Whatever your particular sticking point is right now that you're having a little bit of trouble with, as you start to work on that one issue, you'll notice that it starts to kind of have this weird effect like you're pulling up a blanket and all the surrounding edges start to come up with it. And so what we really want to do is look towards where the areas that are really affecting you most. What does pure confidence, what does total core confidence look like to you? So let's start by just identifying and articulating that. So right now I want you to answer this question. If you had core confidence and a greater self-esteem, what would you be able to do? So if you had more self-esteem, if you felt ultimate confidence, you were your most confident self, what would you be able to do right now? So really write out what are the behaviors you would start to take if you had more confidence. So would you be able to handle more tension and maybe go and ask for a promotion? Would you be able to handle more risk in life? Maybe you want to start a business, or you want to share your creative ideas with a team or with, your friends and family? What would your dating and relationships look like if you had more confidence? And what would your social life look like if you had more confidence? All right, great job. I hope you're actually doing this and you're actually writing this down, not just thinking about it, not just listening to me, but actually spending some time to really articulate this. And here's the point. I really want you to be honest in answering these, okay? This is just for you. It's not for anyone else. You don't have to show this to anyone. But really, the reason you want to answer these honestly is the more honesty you actually talk to yourself with, the more you're able to really just level with yourself and say like, yeah, this is what I truly want. when you have that good relationship with yourself, the ability to talk to yourself in a way that's honest and you're not distracting yourself from different things that maybe you've been putting off. You're thinking, you know what, I deserve better, and I haven't really been thinking about that. I'm kind of shoving it under the rug. All those little times you're doing that, you're not actually respecting yourself. You're not actually honoring what you're capable of. And so this is why these kind of exercises can be a little tricky. It's kind of nice to just stay up in your head and kind of get distracted really quickly. But when you spend some time to write these things out and be honest with yourself, that's where the change happens. This is kind of just where we want to start. There's way more actions you can do. There's a lot of things that when I'm working with people, I have them do that are more behavioral oriented. But for now, while I have you, we just really want to write a lot of this stuff out. Just to start, just to kind of move the needle a little bit when it comes to leveling up your confidence. So that was the first question I had you answer, which is, what does that look like for you? Now, I want to ask you, what does it feel like if you were to achieve that? So if you were able to get what we talked about in that first question, how would you feel? What would it feel like in your body? How would you hold yourself? How are your muscles? How's your breathing? How's your gaze when you look at people? How's your vocal tonality? So try that out. Just breathe in as if you were a very confident person. Notice your shoulders just coming down and just relaxing into that. Feeling that confidence within you. How does that feel? I want you to write that out. Really start to, in detail. How is your heart rate? Is it calm? How's your posture? How is your breathing? If you were your most confident self right now, you had all the things you were doing and achieving all the things you wanted, how would it feel? If you had everything from the first question solved and accomplished in life, how would you feel? Write that out. All right, great job in answering those questions. So the reason I had you answer those two questions, what is it that you want and what does it feel like when you get it, right? What does it feel like when you're in that state, that confident state? The reason we want to do this is we really want to articulate and clarify that image for your brain. And the reason is that when you are proactive in doing this, you become someone who is more clear in their purpose. You become someone who's more focused in life. And what you'll notice is that if you are proactive, if you engage with life and you're more directive in your actions, people will get out of your way or they will support you. And this is a real foundational element because in life, we're very much just kind of running on an automatic setting. We're kind of just floating around, doing the same thing, waking up at the same time, eating relatively the same type of food, going to our regular jobs, kind of going through the motion. We wake up, we go on our phone, we check our emails and social media, and then we get our day started, and then we go to work, and then we get home and maybe watch some TV or spend more time on social media. It's really very similar sort of stuff, and it's easy to get caught up in patterns. And if you get caught up in your patterns, what's going to happen is that if those patterns aren't serving you right now and you're not conscious, you will run those patterns till the day you die. And the reason I can tell you this is that your body is designed to survive. It doesn't want to change. And so you are really just a set of momentums, a set of decisions and behaviors that you're used to making. And you're really just a set of muscular contortions and biological conditionings and different brain chemistries that you're trying to repeat and produce all the time. And in doing this, what happens is that you really just live out the same life and have the same type of problems, and it kind of repeats on itself because you are designed to survive, not to change. So if you want to change, if you really want to recognize, you know what, I deserve better than this, I want more from life, and you're the type of person that's ready to take control of life, we got to start with the behaviors and the patterns that are once driving you. And the starting point is really getting crystal clear on what it is that we want. We have to actually get our brain a new north point. We have to give it a target to aim at. And the clearer we make that, the easier it's going to be for it to habituate and get used to living in that state. And that starts with just articulating what it is that we want. And that's why it's not enough to just think about this, because your thinking isn't consistent. Your thinking isn't consistent if you are dehydrated dehydrated even, or if you're underslept. Just think about how much your performance starts to lack when you're off your diet, if you're hungover. These are the things that can really affect you if you're just running on automatic default settings. So we really want to be conscious and inject some serious attention and energy towards what it is that we want. So with that said, we really want to take a real close look at this third question. And this third question is why we want those things. And the reason is that you need to become clear on why it is you want those things. It's not enough to just know what it is and what it kind of looks like. That can help, that will help, but we really want to get very crystal clear on our why. And the reason is that confidence comes from competence. It comes from what you know, right? So when say you're really good at your job right now, or there's something that you know a lot about, right? Maybe you know a lot about a certain musician, or you know a lot about some sort of historical fact, or something along these lines. Or let's even say right now that you're like a bodybuilder. If you were a bodybuilder right now and you knew a lot about nutrition and health, imagine somebody who's overweight and very unhealthy coming up to you and telling you that you were wrong about stuff. You'd probably just roll your eyes. You'd be like, okay, all right, okay. And you kind of think that person's like out to lunch. You're like, who is this guy to even say that? Well, imagine if you had that same ability, but with other people. Yet, a lot of us are assuming that when people make a judgment on us, they're qualified to make that judgment. We don't think like, is this person qualified to make this opinion of me? We just assume that they're like seeing us in an accurate light. But the problem is that we do not filter people's credibility. We actually kind of take things heart to heart, right? Someone's like, you know, like you're a dick, or say like they insult you. Or imagine if you get flipped off while you're driving, you're like, ooh, and it kind of like you think about it all day long, right? This sort of thing. We have a tendency to validate people's opinions and judgments of us when they really don't deserve it. Now imagine, like I said, you were a bodybuilder who is able to have the opinions of someone who is unhealthy come to you and you're like, okay, yeah, whatever, and you just kind of like ignore them. Imagine if you had that same kind of a confidence in all areas of life. And not in kind of a naive sort of sense, but just in a sense of self-worth, where you don't let people affect you. Their rejections don't affect you. They don't damage your sense of self-worth. They don't obsess in your mind. You don't overthink things. And you just had a sense of self-worth. Well, if you want to do that, you got to know yourself. Just as the bodybuilder knows how to lift weights and build their body up and nutrition, this sort of things, the same way they know that and they're competent in that, they're going to have confidence in that. So if you want to have that sense in yourself, that confidence, that core confidence when you interact with the people you're attracted to, or superiors at work, or even customers you're trying to acquire for a business, whatever it is, or even just family members and friends, right? If you want to have a confident demeanor that just radiates from you all the time, you got to know yourself. But the issue is, what does it mean to know yourself, right? Is that just taking psychology tests, like personality assessments, and is that part of knowing yourself? Yeah, that can be some things. Is it just knowing your patterns and this sort of things? Well, I'll tell you what, knowing yourself is a massive, massive job. It really is. We are complex creatures, so to fully know yourself can be a rather tricky game. But what we want to start with, this is the one that has some of the best return on investment for your effort, is knowing your why. It's knowing what you want, but more importantly, why you want it. See, if you know why you want what you want, you won't allow people's judgments to affect you as much. Really think of it like this. If you like a band, right? So say your favorite band, think of your favorite artist right now. If someone didn't like that, it's not going to change your behaviors about listening to it. You might kind of be like, oh, really? You don't like it, eh? That's weird. I mean, I really like that band. Okay. And all you're really going to do is just like, oh, they don't have good taste in music, or they don't have the same taste in music as I do. I just won't share this music with them anymore because they don't like that type of music. That's about it. It wouldn't affect your sense of how much you enjoy it. So, this is what we want to do with your confidence. If you know why you want what you want, you will have that same feeling as it is with your music you like, right? The same thing as the bodybuilder who disregards people's opinions of himself when it comes to bodybuilding. It'll be like that for you, because when you know yourself and you know what it is that you want, and better, why you want it, you'll have that same type of confidence where you become more rejection proof. So when you go after the things you want in life, if someone, say for example, there's a girl you want to take on a date and she says no to you, and you're like, okay, well, you know what you bring to the table and you know why you want what you want, and this person says no to you, you're like, okay, you're lost. Like it's not personal to you. You don't take it personally. In fact, all you do is discredit why they said that. So you start to go, well, maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe they're taken, or maybe, they're just not interested. I'm not their flavor. And it's not a personal thing to you anymore. It's not like, oh, fuck, I'm a loser, da-da-da. It's nothing like this. Now you become a little bit more rejection proof. You've distanced yourself from these assumptions that people are qualified to make judgments on you. The hard reality of it is that you gotta know who you are, and you gotta know what it is that you want and why you want it. When you have this clear, especially clear to your brain, you will become rejection proof. This is what leveling your confidence is all about. So let's take some time right now to really articulate why you want what you want from the first two questions I had you answer. Why do you want these achievements? Why do you want more confidence? What would it do for your social life if you had more confidence? What would it do for your relationships in your dating life if you had more confidence? Really think about why you want this. How would it help you in life? How would it improve your finances? How would it improve your friendships? How would it improve even your family life? Who would be proud of you if you had more confidence? Why is this important for you to have in your life? Why does this even matter? What does it mean if you were to not have it? Why do you really want this? What is important to you? How is having a high sense of self-esteem and a strong sense of confidence valuable to you? Is it important that people see you as a success? Do you want to make people you love proud? Really write these answers down. Really articulate what is it for you, and you just be honest. This is just for you. Why is this important? Why does this matter? All right, I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and I hope you're already starting to feel a little bit different after doing this. You probably notice that you feel a little bit more motivated. You want to take some action right now, right? You probably feel like you're a little bit more, bulletproof when it comes to people's rejections and judgment. You probably have this sense a little bit, just moving the needle a tad, which is with one easy 20-minute exercise here. With just that, you probably feel even a little bit different about your wants. And that's because, like I said earlier, your behaviors are very heavily tied to your identity. So what you identify with, what you're starting to say, like, hey, this is what I like, and this is why I like it, and why it's important to me. As you start to clarify that, you'll start to behave and have more motivation to act along those lines. So now that we've done that, you have probably a very clear desire of what you want and what it can look like for you. But as you probably know, it's going to come down to action. And when it comes down to action, this is where a lot of guys start to suffer. Because it's not enough to just want something. You've wanted a lot of different things in life, I'm sure, and you've had probably many of opportunities to speak up in meetings, to ask for promotions, to go ask out someone you were attracted to, or even just stand up for someone that wasn't treating you right? Maybe someone was treating you poorly, and you're like, oh, okay, and you kind of just tolerated it, right? These sort of things. That's a lack of self-esteem, and it's really a lack of your ability to optimize on an opportunity, to really take action and to make a new decision in that moment. And I'll tell you what, the reason why you have that issue of taking action is it comes down to fear. Like I said, we are very socially sensitive creatures, and we are very prone to fear. We're very prone to having anxiety come up because we don't want to embarrass ourselves. We don't want to cause tension. We don't want to rock the boat. We want to stay safe. We want to not, we want things to kind of come easy to us. And I'll tell you what, like I said, it's one thing to articulate this stuff, and now that you have the desire, we got to learn how to take that and actually implement it into action. And I would like to invite you to take some more action right now and join me on a 6-week journey. This is a coaching program I've designed to help guys really not just clarify these things and clear up some mental roadblocks, but really have an intelligent strategy for implementing these, doing exercises, and not only exercises, doing challenges every single week that help you get closer to pulling who you know you can be and what your actually life looks like closer together. So you become more of your ideal version. You become more of your confident self. You have a stronger sense of self-worth. You don't get your emotions affected with someone's rejection. You're able to do and act in alignment and design a life with who you know you are and what you deserve in life. And I'd love to get you to that place. I'd love to help change the trajectory of your life. And this is really just something that, a lot of guys don't spend a lot of time doing. It's not often. These are common questions I asked you, but it's just stuff that we don't do often. So I'd like to invite you to spend 6 weeks with me and really dive deep in all different areas of life, because like I said, a win in one area is a win in all areas. And so maybe you're coming just to improve the quality of your relationships and dating life. Or maybe you're coming to improve the quality of your professional life, right? Or maybe you want to start a business and handle more risk. All these things start with this strong sense of self-worth and self-esteem. That's the foundation of it. And this is why I can say that a win in one area is a win in all areas. So allow me to implore you with the accountability, the strategies, and the approaches and tools you need to get to that place. This is going to be a journey that is only for people who are serious about growth. And if you're ready to take this journey with me, I'd love to be your coach in the process. So I encourage you to sign up. Take action now. Don't just let this be an emotion. This is a strategized and intelligent approach to actually making human developmental change, identity level change, core change that lasts with you for a lifetime. And the mind is a real tricky place. And this is why it pays to have accountability, to have a coach in your corner telling you what to look for and what actions you can take. And as you start to do this, you'll start to see the life of your dreams unfolding. And this is what I want for you. And not the life that someone else tells you you should have, the life that you've designed for yourself, the life you know you're capable of, and the life you want. This is what I get a kick out of. This is what I love doing, because I love seeing the transformative effect it has on men who learn to master their fear. So I encourage you to join me in the 6-week course. Sign up below. I shall see you inside.